Welcome back to YourPtbo. My name is Paul Rellinger, and we're actually on location, which is very exciting for us, at the soon to open, relatively soon, Peterborough Animal Care Center. State of the art, top to bottom. I want to welcome my guests. To my immediate right, Sean Morey, who's the Executive Director of the Peterborough Humane Society, and Chris White, who's a member of the board for the Humane Society, and also the chair of the Our Pet Project fundraising effort that makes this building possible. Welcome, and thank you so much, both of you, for doing this.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us, Paul. This is great, Paul.
Sean, I want to take it back. I mean, for something like this to happen, there has to be a need. You just don't build a building for no particular reason. And I guess, maybe you could take us back to that need, how it was identified, how it kind of manifested itself and brought us to this point.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, being an organization that's cared for animals since 1941, that's been a big focus of ours, is just giving animals the absolute best in what they can, right? And our current location was built back in 1956, predominantly just to be a pound service. So think about the ways in the world that has changed over the last 60 plus years, and also the way that pets were viewed back in the early 50s to the way that they're viewed now as part of our family and as a companion. Mm-hmm. So the need for better education, better services, better care, but also better opportunities for our four-legged friends was paramount in us moving forward with this new building and having the vision to bring it forward here in Peterborough.
And as the city grew, obviously, which it has quite a bit since '56, more people, more animals to care for, and so just by natural progression, that was going to happen, I guess.
Oh, without question. Yeah, and then obviously you talk about demands, the services, and the amount of support that's being provided to our four-legged friends in the community is part and parcel to the reason why we built this facility. Not only is it going to be better for them, it's going to be better for us as humans, and when you're coming in to adopt an animal, learn more about humane education, looking for services like spay neuter, that's going to be right directly on site here as well. And then also with our friends from the Ontario SPCA and Humane Society, providing dog rehabilitation that'll allow a dog that may not have had a second outcome in the past, that second outcome now. So it's going to be a great, all full service facility that's going to support animal wellness and really step up the game with regards to that for the future.
And I want to talk more about those three key identified areas here in the building that you just referenced. But before we do that, and again, not to harp on it, but when we look at the building on Lansdowne Street, just tell me what kind of restrictions your staff were facing down there, what kind of challenges with the lack of space and being so crammed in there.
Oh, yeah, without question. I mean, it's a 6,000 square foot cinder block facility that was, again, built predominantly just to be a pound. So it was basically meant for temporary housing of animals as they went through impound of the center. It was never envisioned to be a center where 120 to 140 animals were in a building at one specific time. It wasn't designed to be a care facility for animals like it is today. And what we see is obviously we've taken a staff level of 15 staff members. We're now at 26. We're going to be at 40 when we get into this facility. So we have physically outgrown the space that we're in currently, but also the needs of our community and the needs of our animals has outgrown the space as well. So that's why we've built this new facility, which is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Chris, if I could, I wanted to ask you as a member of the board, you guys have had this property for quite a while down here on 199 Technology Drive, I think, is the address. And you've had it for quite a while. Obviously, as a board, this is something that you identified as a priority from a board perspective.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, we just sort of had the vision back in 2012. Actually, about 10 years ago to date, we started this project from the visionary standpoint, the planning process. With the lead architects we chosen, and they've been a fantastic partner all along. And in the beginning, they said, well, it's going to take 10 years. I said, no, it's not going to take 10 years. And sure enough, it's taken 10 years.
Yeah, they were pretty accurate.
Yeah, they were. And, we bought the property in 2012, I believe it was, and in November. And we actually bought out of Ptbo Township, and they've been a great partner, great supporter as well all along.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just started the process there, and it was a huge learning process, not only for me and the rest of the board, but it was a good time commitment as well.
Yeah.
And getting back into the fundraising and running a capital campaign, and you know, it's had its challenges for the past couple of years during the pandemic, but
For sure.
we're bouncing back, and we still need to raise some funds, but we'll get there.
Yeah, and I do want to talk more about our pet project, the name of your campaign, but you know, I've sat on several boards in the past, and I know any board member wants to make a difference. You know, that's why they're on the board in the first place and give it their time. And you know, maybe you can just speak for yourself and your fellow board members. You know, it's quite a deal to be on the board at such an exciting time, right? I mean, you know, you guys are on the board at a pretty exciting time right now.
Yeah, and the board just keeps getting better. The members that keep coming on it. There's been some long-standing members who have rotated on and came back, who've been very involved. Mm-hmm. It does take a commitment from the board, not only from a time commitment. It's also the word of putting your business sense behind it and making it happen.
Yeah.
And Sean, you know, Sean came to us about 4 years ago, and you know, we couldn't make this happen without a person like Sean and building the team he has at the shelter. But as the board goes, we'll continue to get a stronger and stronger board and more involved board to support Sean and his team here.
Sean, the building is beautiful. I was fortunate to be here in the very, very early stages, and I can't believe it's even the same place coming back now a year and a half later. But $13 million was the price tag. Not a small amount of money, but obviously something that the board and the Humane Society together saw as something that was doable. Let's talk, before we talk about the features of this building, let's talk about, and you alluded to it, Chris, the fundraising during a time of COVID. And boy, talk about the ultimate challenge, right?
Yeah, and it had been challenge and opportunity all at the same time, realistically, if you think about it. We, the original concept of this facility, as Chris alluded to, we bought the land back in 2012. Original concept drawing of this was back in 2013. So we kind of knew that we were going to build this center at some point or another, you know, in and around that time frame, right? From 2013, and that's when the fundraising effort started, and we started getting out in the community and discussing what our vision for the future was going to look like. You know, and it comes as any fundraising campaign, especially being, you know, $10+ million, it comes through and goes through its different waves and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But our community's been absolutely fantastic, and it's supported us in the early stages, it supported us through the middle parts of the stage, and then when COVID hit, it really was kind of our aha moment that if we were going to make this campaign come to life and actually build this center, now was the time to do it, because we knew that there was going to be increased demands for our services based on what was happening out in the environment from a COVID perspective, but also the opportunity for us to, you know, give back to our community based on and the amount of support that they provided to us right in the early stages of it. They saw the vision of what this place was going to bring. They knew that the services that was going to be brought forward at this facility was going to be in higher demand as COVID kind of started to release. So we saw that as an opportunity in 2020 to say, nope, we need to make this happen. So we're gonna go through all the processes to have it happen, and we broke ground in May of 2021, and we'll be complete here in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow, so exciting.
Yeah.
And Chris, when we look at the Our Pet Project campaign, two things come to mind that I think are at the root of the success of that campaign is, number one, people love their animals. You know, I mean, you go to any community and you're going to find that's a common denominator for sure, right? They love their animals. They want them treated well. They want them, you know, they want them to live a long time, as long as possible. They're members of their family, basically. So that's one thing that kind of tugs at people's heartstrings. The second thing, though, and you're both familiar with this, and I know you are particularly, Chris, is Peterborough is a very giving city, right? I mean, we talk about it all the time, but it doesn't seem to matter the size of the ask. Peterborough finds a way and comes through. And as you went into those campaigns, those had to be two things that were in your favor.
Yeah, I think when we first started the campaign, we had, like any campaign, it's structured, and we listened to the consultants that we were dealing with, and the first ask we went out. The city of Peterborough has been a really strong supporter throughout this whole project, and I believe they'll continue for years supporting us. So they were. It's always been a tough ask because you got to go through all the channels and proper channels, but the community, as this is really a community building, built for the community by the community, as Sean alludes to. But it is a place where, in our existing facility, it was hard to even have people visit there. And now this will be open to the community. So it would be a place to go on a Saturday with your kids, for example. So it's just a feel good thing to do.
Yeah, and helping you in that effort is this beautiful property. I mean, it's 20 acres roughly, and we're here now kind of at the outset of winter, but I can only imagine what it's going to look like in the spring.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, the facility itself is great. We have a great mindset to be able to purchase this when we did back in 2012. Yeah, the facilities around it are fantastic. The natural wildlife that's in and around it is just going to be great enrichment for our animals within the facility, but being able to put a facility like this on the footprint is just absolutely fantastic.
We talked about our pet project, and I just want to make sure I got this right. So, some major donations, $300,000 from Glenn Stonehouse, Wildfire and One Fine Food, $126,000 from Nexicom, $100,000 from Peter Blodgett of Darling Insurance, various $25,000 donations from a number of businesses and these are all on the website. So it's not like I got secret information here. Anybody can access it. But I want to ask you about one in particular because it kind of jumps off the page. Cynthia Richards, almost $750,000.
Yep. Cynthia was an individual who, at the time, we didn't really know a whole lot about directly, but came in and did some volunteer work for us back many years ago. Didn't have didn't have any kids, but had a huge affinity for animals. Had cats, had horses. So a large value of her estate. She wanted it to go back into animal wellness. Had a great reputation with the Peterborough Humane Society from her years as a volunteer with us. And that's where the funds were driven to, and that's a great opportunity for any individual that's looking to, find that charitable organization or a way to provide their legacy, whether it's a living legacy or a past legacy that they want to support animal wellness. It's a great way of doing so.
Yeah.
And it was a huge push for us, and really a good Kickstarter for us too to move forward with part of the build, without question. Between her support, like you mentioned before, Glenn Stonehouse and his support, Peter Blodgett, but all of our community has been absolutely amazing. Yeah. And I mean, that's a testament to why, again, like Chris identified, why we're building what we're building. It's a building that is built for the community by the community, and it can't be put any more simpler than that we're building this for Peterborough and Peterborough County and our surrounding region, because they're behind it. Yeah. And that's why we've been able to be successful in what we're doing so far.
Nothing like getting that phone call with a big donation on the other end of the line, right?
It definitely makes our Fridays better, that's for sure.
We call them Happy Fridays.
Happy Fridays, yeah.
Sure does. The building itself is 24,000 square feet. We mentioned it's on a 20-acre land parcel, designed by LED Architects, who are right here in Peterborough. Yep. General contractor is Peak Construction. When all is said and done, you'll create about 20 new full-time jobs here as a result of the work that needs to be done in the building day to day. Now, the building has three main components, and I told you we'd get back to those because it's very important that people know what those components are, because they all address a particular need.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, where we're standing right now is our Animal Adoption and Education Center. So we're not only are going to be able to showcase the animals that are in our care and available for adoption a whole lot better than what we had done in the past with regards to the space confinements that we have at our current facility. A lot brighter, a lot airier facility, a lot more transparent in regards to allowing public, as Chris alluded to earlier, allowing public into the facility at all times so they can see the work that's being done, the care that's being provided to animals within the center. And having that as a major component so that folks that are looking to bring on a new family member have a one-stop shop to come to, and it's going to be a fantastic facility where we can not only support them but also support the animals that are in our care, provide a lot better health advantages to animals within this facility too with the state-of-the-art HVAC system. It'll get animals within our care healthier faster, allow them to come up for adoption quicker, and get them into their new forever homes as fast as we possibly can. Second component to that part of it is our educational center. So being able to provide humane educational programs to community members, children, after school programming, March break camps, all that kind of stuff that we'd be able to provide as an educational component around responsible pet ownership, around using, having animals as companion animals and sentient beings, and providing all those kind of educational components that we don't have the space or the ability to do today. Right. So that's one major component of our facility. Second big one is our spay-neuter clinic. So it's going to be a high-volume spay-neuter clinic where we'll be able to service up to 5,000 animals per year, which is huge from a service to our community because there's a lot of restrictions on animals being available to have a spay-neuter surgery just based on either not having a vet of record or just the time constraints on getting an animal spayed or neutered, and then also the affordability of such as well, because it is quite expensive.
And it's like you drop your animal off, you can come back same day and pick the animal up?
That's exactly it. And then so we're seeing folks that come in or when we did the 2 mobile clinics, we had folks coming from up to 3 hours away utilizing the service.
Wow.
So it is going to be a very sought after and a highly demanded service for us. So that's going to be a big proponent. And then the third one.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but it should be mentioned too, when people come in from out of town and they're dropping their pet off, they get hungry, right? And they want to go out and have a lunch, they want to have a bite to eat. So anybody doesn't think this building has effects on the community as a whole in a good way, that's certainly one example, right?
Without question. Yeah, absolutely. They're here for the day, so they're going to utilize the area for sure.
And it is a regional draw. The catchment area is within 3 hours of a drive, I believe. So.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. And then you got additional to that, you've got the Ontario SPCA and Humane Society doing provincial dog rehabilitation right on site as well. And that's actually right directly behind us here. So it's going to be great because it's going to basically allow for that part of it. It's going to allow for dogs that come from circumstances that aren't the greatest from a behavioral perspective, work with them, work with their behavior team, and provide that second chance to dogs specifically to allow them to get available for adoption and move forward in life.
And excuse my ignorance, what happens to animals that are in that predicament now?
Sometimes there's not the same resources that are available or the ability to look after those dogs specifically. A lot of them can go untreated. So that's where you're seeing a lot of behavioral circumstances that are happening out in the public around dog bites, around aggressive animals out there. Also, the pandemic has brought forward too a lot of unsocialized animals as well, just out of nature because
it's brought forward a lot of unsocialized people.
100% too. Yeah. So again, that resource and that support is going to be a big piece to it as well.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, you guys are in the loop. You're in the animal care loop, so to speak, right? You know what's happening in humane societies across Ontario and other areas. Can we stand here today and truly say this is going to be kind of the envy of a lot of those places? I mean, this is about as good as it gets.
I think it's going to be, and again, Chris can speak to it better as well, but this will be today's premium in regards to animal wellness and animal well-being within a facility. And it'll be kind of the catalyst to the next best animal care center, which will be the next delivery point. But and same with us, we took a lot of our learnings from other best facilities in the past, right, to make ours as good as it can be, and then subsequently, and the hope is that folks can utilize the benefits of this facility to make their facilities better as well. Yeah. We're all doing the exact same thing. It's just making each other better.
It's a really real pay it forward attitude. When we first started this, we dealt with Edmonton, Winnipeg, and Ottawa, who all built large facilities, a lot larger than this, but they come from larger centers. But
Sure.
And then from here, the lead architect is working with other humane societies, SPCA's in different areas throughout Ontario, doing the same thing we did 7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like a big circle.
Yeah, and what I said, the point I too like to make is the animals that come here don't come here by choice. So I think what we wanted to do from a mission is make it the best possible place to come and stay while they're in our care,
Yeah.
and get them rehomed as quickly as possible.
Who wants to go to the hospital, right? You know?
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure if anything is planned about it. I mean, this building has everything you currently need and have identified as a need. Is there the ability to add on? And if there is that ability, is there a wish list still, even after this building is done?
Of course, I think if we're satisfied with the standard, we'd be remiss and we'd probably be in the same location as we are currently at right now, right? So yeah, there is some opportunity for expansion within the building, but also outside of the building as well. So we've been fortunate enough where we've been able to include 6 outside dog yards within the facility, one being an off-leash public yard that we're going to have within the facility as well. But outside of it, we actually have a lot of wooded lot to the west of the building that we're going to hopefully work with our friends from Orca to build some minimally invasive trail systems throughout the facility as well. So it'd be a great opportunity for members of the community to come out, walk their dogs on leash throughout the facility and throughout our wooded lots. Lots of educational components, like I said, programming and so on and so forth. So to elevate different aspects of it, but both inside the building as well as outside the building. So yeah, I would say that we're always going to be looking for ways that we can grow and enhance our services within the community, for sure.
Chris, I know you're a dog owner, and I'm assuming you are too, Sean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So before we let you go, just and thank you for this today. Much appreciated. Give me a sense that, dog owner or not, you should be pretty proud of what, if you're living in Peterborough, that this facility is here, and really take notice. I mean, it's worthy of our attention, right?
It's going to be absolutely fantastic to have folks come into this facility, see both dogs and cats in the light that they should be shown at, right? In regards to the care that we've been providing to them, which a lot of the times gets done behind the scenes. Now it's going to be front and center. Yeah. It's also going to allow us the opportunity to have more intimate conversations with folks around what it is that we do as an organization that supports the community as well, right? Shedding some of the stigma that's associated with the old building and the old Humane Society, and really showcasing what it is for today and for our future is a big piece to it as well. But yeah, if you're looking for a dog or a cat, or just looking to learn more about it, having a place to come to as a community member should be extremely exciting, and it's something that we're looking forward to welcoming here very, very shortly.
And I guess it goes without saying for both of you, it's kind of like Christmas right now, right? You're just kind of waiting.
Pretty excited
waiting
about it.
to open the present here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see it come to fruition for sure.
Absolutely.
And the other thing, just about the community itself, like, people don't even know we're doing this still, and it's just amazing as a board member and on the camping cabinet, and all the times that doing pieces like this over the years, and the commercials that we've done, and just the public awareness. And you think that some people don't even know what's being built yet. And that's what another board member said that to me the other day. I said, yeah, we'll be here a year and people say, where is that? So,
yeah, probably.
But hopefully it really puts Peterborough on the map, and from a regional perspective too, it's going to help other animal welfare groups throughout our catchment area too, that we can assist them in their missions as well.
Well, my hope and I know it of everybody at YourTV is that this will help and get that word out. And I know when you have the official opening in the spring, there'll be a lot of excitement around that as well. Sean Morey, Chris White, thank you so very much for being on YourPtbo and sharing details of this wonderful facility.
Paul, thanks for having us. This is fantastic. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.